Welcome to the New Normal Podcast. I want to tell everybody thank y'all for tuning in. Today we got a good one for you. And this should be or could be an outrage Wednesday post too.
Indeed.
It could be. But I think today, from what I've seen, especially, we're gonna be talking about the Carmelo Anthony situation, the stabbing at the track meet. I know we kind of 4 or 5 days behind it, but I'm glad we all could see it what all transpired with this situation. We're gonna be talking about a street interview gone wrong, and we might get to the Phylicia Rashad backlash later on today. If y'all are watching, y'all make sure y'all like the video, subscribe, comment. Make sure you share it all over to your granny, your daddy, your auntie, your boyfriend, your side nigga, your baby daddy. I don't care. Make sure you share this video, and make sure if you want to support the channel, the Cash App is at the bottom. Also, make sure y'all follow and subscribe to us. We're on all social media platforms, so make sure you do that. And like I said, we got a good one for you. But I think the sentiment of today, I think a lot of black people tired of niggas.
Man, the fact that you said that, I was trying to listen to some clips and some rebuttals and some reactions to it, and there's a lot of context. I don't know. We're gonna get into some videos. I might have to seen something during the stream so we can get a full context, but it's some racial undertones to it. It's also some information that, rest in peace to the boy that lost his life, but his dad did a press conference of some sort.
Yeah, I got a clip of that.
Oh, you got that? And you heard him say, because I think the son got a twin. So he got a twin, and they didn't want to repeat what was said to the black boy who did the stabbing, which I would say, if you don't want to repeat it, it had to be something offensive enough to make him do what he did. Not saying it's the right reaction, but like I said, I think we'll dive into it more once we get the stream going again. Thank y'all for tuning in. You want to kick it off right now?
Yeah, I'm finna kick it off. This is the news report we're finna play right here.
Austin Metcalf, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf's twin brother, was at the track with him. His family says he died in his brother's arms. Fox 4's Amelia Jones spoke with the teen's victim's father and is live in Frisco tonight. Amelia.
Steve, Heather, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf had a bright future ahead of him. He was a leader on the football field and a scholar in the classroom. His dad told me he's holding on to memories and leaning deep on his faith as he tries to wrap his mind around this senseless tragedy.
He was going to turn out to be a great individual and impact this world with positivity.
17-year-old Austin Metcalf was voted MVP of the Frisco Memorial High School varsity football team. The linebacker held a near-perfect GPA and was in the National Honor Society.
He was on the right track. He was doing everything right. I was so proud.
Jeff Metcalf never imagined that his son's future would be cut short.
I'm still in shock.
Wednesday morning, Austin Metcalf was at a District 11 5A track meet at Kirkendall Stadium. Around 10 a.m., Frisco police say 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest after some sort of fight. Jeff Metcalf says it was Austin's twin brother, Hunter Metcalf, who tried to save him.
And his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
It's unclear how Anthony got the knife into the meat or what exactly led up to the fight. Anthony is now facing first-degree murder charges, and Jeff Metcalf
It was the best weekend ever.
Is only left with memories.
I was able to watch and be blessed so much. But having both my sons are amazing.
When Jeff Metcalf was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago, his boys were his strength. Now cancer-free, it's his faith that's keeping him strong.
And when I kissed his forehead today, as his body was cold, I ran my fingers through his hair. I told him it's not goodbye. It's see you later. I'll join you at some point too, son. You just beat me to this place.
Wednesday night, the family's church opened its doors for the community to gather for a prayer vigil to honor a young man whose life touched so many.
But I know he's with the Lord. And I take comfort and peace in that.
In our conversation, Jeff mentioned that he hopes his son's death brings changes to security so no other parent has to go through this. Memorial High School will honor Austin tomorrow during second period, and counselors will be
As a
tough.
parent, watching that, hear him talking about he kissed his son and he was cold, running his hands through his hair. Like I can only imagine how I would feel. And I hate that so many people had to be politically correct right now.
It's a lot of politics in this situation.
Oh, I hate it. Even it being a white man and your son down by a black young man or whatever getting stabbed, it kind of be hard for me to not just show my anger, my frustration.
Yeah.
And he, as a white man, he got to think about like his children, his other child. He got to think about people knowing where he at. He got to think about people coming out saying that he racist, or that's the reason why his son got killed. He was being racist. Like it's so much stuff that got to be tiptoed around, and I really don't like that because as a parent, I should be able to say, "Hey, I'm mad," and that's basically how the mom and the brother feel. Like, "Hey, my dad didn't forgave, but hey, we ain't there yet. We upset. I watched my twin brother die. That connection there." You lose your twin brother is crazy. Like I could just only imagine. And then to try to find solace, just thinking about your religion, and this might sound crazy, but let's just say I was a fucked up individual, and you think your son go to heaven. What if I think I'm going to hell, or vice versa? You don't know if you're gonna see them again, so that even gonna play a part on even how you living from here on out. Because you got to make sure, hey, I got to make sure I'm tightroping and doing what I'm supposed to do. Because I think my son might have gone to heaven because he was a good individual. So now I got to live this type of life to make sure I get there. So even all of that, when you think about the psychological stuff that's going into this shit, is crazy and scary.
And like I said, rest in peace, and our condolences to the family of the boy who lost his life. The thing with this is, and like I said, I think this is a story we will probably do some follow-ups on, because I think this is going to raise. You already got everything going on with the politics that created this racial divide. This is yet again another scenario that's going to create a further divide once more information comes out about it. Like I said, we didn't get into it in the clip, but they said they didn't want to repeat because we want to know what started this, because it don't sound. They're in a affluent area. They're not in Fort Worth or Stop Six. They're in Plano, Frisco area. This is a well-to-do community.
Right.
So what would make this boy come to this area with a knife at a track meet? Two, what happened to where he had to pull it?
See, and the thing is, he got suspended already for having a knife at school.
See, I ain't know.
See, that came out.
Okay.
So they got reports of him being suspended from school with a knife. I actually screenshot, but I didn't get a chance to put it on there. But there was reports that he got suspended from school already with a knife. So this is a knife-toting nigga here. You know what I'm saying? So, and the thing is, how people talk about, like the brother said in another video we're gonna get to watch, he didn't get a chance to see him get stabbed. He was there, but I guess it happened so fast he didn't even see his brother get stabbed.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a scuffle from what I'm hearing, like some type of a fight, because he was in the wrong area to dress out. So again, what type of aggression would make? I'm coming to a track meet, but it sounds like I'm also coming with I'm with the shits.
Well, so they cleared it up. None of the boys that were in the track meet.
Oh, so this didn't have nothing to do with the track meet.
No, none of the boys were in the track meet. Both of them, I think they were saying that the white boys that was to support their team, their team at the track.
Oh,
school.
okay,
and
okay.
The black boy will go to another school.
He went to another school, and
so
they told me.
So what happened was they said it started raining.
Yeah,
and so that's why everybody was under the tent.
Okay.
Said the black boy went under the tent. He was wrong tent.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think everybody will feel the same way. Hey, man, this is our team tent. You got to go. And I don't think nobody here would argue that if you the opposing team, hey, man, this is our tent. Y'all got tents over there. You need to go to your tent.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anything racial happened or what was said, but that would just be the thing. I would say the same thing. Hey, bro, this out. It got to be nothing racial. Hey, bro, this our tent. You got to go.
We can keep it cool, because that's why I say it had to be some witnesses over to see this, to really. And the fact that those witnesses haven't came forward to give a full account, it tells me something else is in the water. Because why wouldn't they come forward? Because if you see what I'm saying, where's the antagonizer? Hey, man, you this our tent. You can go over here like coach. Hey, you can show them where they at. That doesn't prompt me to pull out a knife and stab somebody unless he just absolutely insane.
See, and I think that's kind of, because we have seen lately just the rise of just people just doing shit.
Yeah,
Just
emotions are high.
Yeah, emotions are high. People are crazy because they also said his father, Carmelo's father, came out and said that he was a 4.0 student. And they went and looked his GPA up. He was only 1.1, 1.7, and 1.3, 9th through the 11th grade. So actually, him being a 4.0 student was a lie. So this guy, like people do background quick. This guy was a troublemaker.
Yeah.
So and I grew up with my grandma used to say, trouble just in find some people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if that's the idea of this person going to look for trouble, or y'all ain't gonna say nothing to me, or like the racial tension high, like these white boys ain't finna say nothing to me, it could be like that. But let me play this video real quick for what the father had.
Shout out to y'all in the chat, Hassan. Shout out to you, J Mac in the chat. Who else in the drop your comments? We will be doing call-ins later, so stay tuned for the call-in portion of the show.
I want to make this very clear. This is not a race issue. This is not a black and white issue. I don't want someone stepping up on a soapbox trying to politicize this. I don't appreciate some of the remarks I've seen online that people say there was this fight and they don't know. They weren't there. I know the truth. So unless you were there, unless you saw it, don't spread gossip.
And that's how I feel. I think a lot of people are trying to politicize this. I even seen Tariq Nasheed make a post about some suspected white supremacists. It's like, bruh, y'all got to stop feeding into the narrative of race. But I get it, because racism is $1 billion industry. When you had your Black Lives Matter down there on the basketball court, spray painted on streets, T-shirts being sold, the Black Lives Matter movement saying they made $100 million, and we ain't even seen that $100 million come to the community. But I know a lot of black people are trying to jump on the bandwagon of race. But have you also seen so many black people, even though they are speaking truthfully about the black community, trying to basically griff about just talking bad, not bad, but just talking about the bad stuff in the black community, if they agree or not? Because I've been seeing a lot of women now understand that, hey, maybe if I say, hey, y'all need to start twerking as a woman, now I get backlash, but now my following going up. I've been seeing a lot of black women coming out. Do you think sometimes they starting to figure out, hey, maybe if I say this as a black woman?
You know what, our community and our culture is very odd, to where if you have proponents that are for the black community that speak to power, we want to empower you. We want to, have a certain level of decorum or a certain standard, a certain culture standard.
Yeah.
That if you speak against, and like as far as let's say hate speech in a sense, let's say you use your Charleston Whites, your Kevin Samuels, where we holding you to a standard, the more people hate you, the more people follow you.
Right.
But if I'm going along and I'm doing and saying all the nice stuff, a lot of times you don't really get that traction.
Right.
You don't get the attention in the ears that you need to get until you make your approach and your message abrasive. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people are going to use opportunities such as this and others to prepare their platforms. They're going to use it to push a narrative. It's a bunch of agendas that are going to be used in a lot of these major headlines. People use them for their own personal gain.
Yeah, and I think it's messed up, but also the time we live in. It's a polarizing time, like I said, with the race and stuff. But let's go to this. If your son, that happened to you, and your son passed away, God forbid, I don't want nothing like that, but just hypothetically speaking, would you forgive him?
No.
I won't forgive
because, and I'm gonna take that back. I can't say I won't forgive him. It's hard for me to. I'm very analytical. I need to see everything that transpired, because if, let's say, my son doing well, whatever, he get a scat pack or a Hellcat, and let's take the reverse. I'm sorry. Another guy got a scat pack or a Hellcat, whatever. Those are hot cars. And my son or whatever on the bullshit, he tried to take some. He trying to rob him. And the guy who owned it, he ended up killing my son for trying to take. It's not a more so do I forgive him. It's like I gotta accept it. So I look at, it's a cause and effect. Look at what you did. You tried to take this man $100,000 car.
Yeah.
People ain't that ain't going. Yeah. So he put you in the dirt. I can be sad, but it wouldn't be nothing for me to address to the other. None of my gripes will be with the person who shot my son. It'll be with my son and what I probably did.
So you taking a place that if Carmelo was your son?
Yeah, if Carmelo's my son, I had to get all the facts and say, man, well, you know what really happened? Like, what did you first? Why did you have this knife? What did he do or say to you to make you want to pull it out and stab him?
And then I gotta ask the question: is it ever really that deep words to kill somebody? Do you think words is enough to kill anybody in 2025?
Speaking from a logical perspective, absolutely not in any year.
Okay.
But the diets, the music, the home situation, the traumas that these kids are facing nowadays that go unheard, you can't really say what this person going through mentally.
You can't, but at the same time, that's why we talk. Like I say this, a lot of people need their hands held through life. That idea that you're a grown or adult at 18, the idea that you can go overseas and fight and have a total gun and kill somebody for somebody else's cause, or quote unquote for the American dream, or trying to protect this country, all of that with that age range, and they talking about the brain don't develop to like 25, 26, and they even talking about maybe later now. And that's probably more so like we talk about the diets, the food, what we watch, what we consume on a daily basis. I think we just got to readjust a lot of stuff. Like we seeing like for instance, those girls that are grown women, in the car, drunk, showing they dash 120 some miles an hour, getting killed. Those are grown women.
Yeah. I
think now, like we got to be honest, a lot of stuff we need to raise the limit on. I don't think 16-year-olds need to be driving. I don't think and I don't want to derail it from just that, but like I said, the idea that we trying to hold and try to wrap our brains around a lot of stuff, a lot of people just mentally off. A lot of people are slow. A lot of people need their hands held. Like I say, make straight jackets great again. A lot of these insane asylums need to be opened up.
Yeah, and they say like even with the development, it's about what kind of values and what kind of practices your parents are instilling in you at an early age. Like I said, we really are underdeveloped. You got a lot of other countries, they ready to go at 17, 18, taking care of a house, getting married, having families. They fully aware and mature, and they're not preoccupied with BS. I think our culture, we have too much BS that preoccupies us, and we have too much access to things that sedate us, from the alcohol, the marijuana, now you got your mushrooms. You got so many things to pick from to take my mind off life.
So do you think first-degree murder is a proper charge for him?
Nah,
basically
not first degree.
Basically, it just means you intended to kill somebody. You had the intent to do it.
From the optics and from what happened, it would appear that because you stabbed him in the chest with a knife. But it's a portion that I'm missing because, again, you in the wrong tent. So it's one. If I go to another tent and it's a team, I'm sure it's gonna be 3 or more. So you ain't gonna tell me we have a scuffle and just one person, it's just me and him, and it made me pull out a knife. Did nobody? You see what I'm saying? Like I say, I think it's some parts of the puzzle that's missing before I can give a full.
I'm being honest. If I find that you got suspended for carrying a knife already, it has to, because it's like this. When people talk about premeditated, let's say I carry a gun every day.
Yeah.
I don't premeditate on killed Johnny at the store specifically.
Yeah.
But I got the gun on me. Hey,
if somebody get wrong,
yeah.
And to put more in context, did he get suspended prior to this, like on another occasion?
Yeah, another occasion. Not this occasion, another occasion.
Now, see, that's why I find fault in the school. If I'm the principal and we in this, again, the affluent area, you come to my school with a knife, you ain't suspended, you're expelled. Because you could easily do that. We got how many shooters happen in Texas?
A lot. But do they expel kids now? Because I've been seeing a lot, like all these fight videos that come up down the timeline, them kids fighting in the lunchroom. Those probably repeat offenders. Yeah. And the reason that I know, because my mama work at a high school, they'll get the fine, suspended 3 days, come back, and they lose, they fight again. So it's like, are they even expelling kids like that?
I'm not aware. I really just don't know what they're doing, but I do know they're a little bit more lax in these schools now, just based upon what the.
And when I was in school, if you didn't get suspended, they sent your ass to alternative school.
Yeah, like if okay, let's say they didn't expel them, you shouldn't be able to partake in any extracurricular activities. You came to school with a knife,
right?
So that's one part of it. To where now you on the track team, you going here. So what tells me is that even though he may be trouble, this boy probably is a hell of an athlete.
Think he is a hell of an athlete?
Yeah. For them to skate over there and still say, yeah, you good. You can still play. You can still play on the team. You got caught with a knife. A lot of times, if you got to fight, when I was in high school, if you was on the basketball team, you got to fight, you kicked out the basketball team.
Yeah.
Now, again, if you that guy, you know they're gonna make amends. They're gonna make some type of concessions because you're a cash cow. People, you fill seats. You one of our top athletes. You bring home the gold. But again, you got suspended already for a knife. How you able to still partake in these sports activities?
I agree, and like I said, for them, these three guys to not even be part of the track team and those things to happen is crazy to me. Like I said, I just don't understand why this would happen with people that's, like I said, not part of the track team. That's baffling. Like I said, it's a lot of layers that still got to come out about the story. If they really got into a fight, because I hear other stories say it was just, hey man, you know, get out the tent. They grabbed his bag, basically like, yeah, grabbed his bag to throw him out, and then they grabbed his bag, he stabbed.
That's why I'm like, it's some pieces that ain't
But
being told.
Even still no reason to stab nobody.
Nah.
And I think what we're doing now, we're starting to see a lot of people just being real. Like a lot of y'all niggas can't fight. That's why y'all shooting and got to resort to the weapons and stuff. Because you know, we believed in coming up. I think we believed in, you know, you like Craig Daddy said, you live to fight another day. You know what I'm saying? That was our belief. Like you get beat up, okay, but you know, with social media, it surfaces, and like that's another thing. What are videos? I'm sure somebody got a video recording.
And the other elephant in the room, why hasn't his parents or any of his people spoke out on his behalf, or have they?
Carmelo?
Yeah.
I haven't seen. The only person I've seen, they say I haven't seen it, but I've heard them say his father has spoken out and said that he was a 4.0 student. And then, you know, that's when they went and researched and found out his GPA wasn't that good. Because at a 1 point some GPA, you ain't even supposed to be on the football team.
So they're telling me this dude has to have some type of high athletic ability for him to have this low GPA, because you got to have, I think, a 2.5 to play sports.
Yeah.
In my day, but
that's the C average, ain't it?
C average.
Yeah, everybody says C average was to play on. Well, I don't know. A C average, when we was in school.
Oh, you know, they changed the scale now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they did the look. I want to say, you know, they kicked it in to where they do it like on a scale based on where a 60 is considered a C.
Oh, hell.
It's like you got to really be in the dumps to get an F now. Like you got to be in the 20s and 30s.
Oh, that's a participation trophy.
Yeah, they changed the scale, but like I said, I'm gonna have to go back and revisit. But I want to say they kicked that scale and shifted down. But ain't nobody came out and spoke as far as his peers, girlfriends.
I think he was a troubled kid. I do.
I can see that.
I don't think you just get up and get the gumption just to stab a motherfucker. I don't think if you don't have that mindset, or that it come from that type of like environment, or you just been like, I think it's kind of like, you know how we see serial killers when they show the movies, and it kind of like a build up. I want to do something, and then it just happens one day because you've been meditating and festering in your mind that you want to do something. I think that's kind of what this led to. He probably been wanting to stab somebody.
Yeah, and like I said, the other thing is, where was his teammates? He came to a track. You ain't come with your team. How you get here?
Right, but like I said, he wasn't part of the track team.
None
of them was part of the.
So Cameron ain't
Carmelo.
Carmelo. He's not on the track team at all.
He just played football.
He played football, so they just there supporting.
The white boys too. They not on the track team. Well, I don't know, because the daddy said in another video that the other son was there to try to get his 40 time up for the football team. So I don't know, but I kept hearing it said none of them was on the actually on the track team.
Now it makes more sense, because it is. I'm thinking they was a part of the track team, or he was at least, to come to. I'm like, why you coming to a track meet with a knife? So you know, I used to go to the other school. They got this because certain sports are more popular depending on where you at. Like volleyball, maybe you know, Northern or wherever, you may be volleyball, and you know, over here may be track, over here may be basketball. So now it makes sense. So you coming to really kick it. So you don't.
So you just asked. I researched it. It says Carmelo and Anthony's family break silence, heartbroken over fatal stabbing. The family of the 17-year-old suspect charged with murder in the stabbing death of Frisco ISD student athlete has broken their silence. Carmelo and Anthony remained in police custody on a $1 million bond on Monday. The fatal stabbing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a track meet on April 2nd. In the statement released Monday, April 7th, by the Anthony's family attorney, they expressed sadness that a life was lost, and the Anthony family offered their condolences and prayers to the Metcalf family. This will certainly be a long road ahead, and during these challenging times, we ask for prayers for both families, and we ask for patience and respect for the legal process as we seek the truth. The statement read in part: Defense attorney Billy Clark and Kim Cole said that they are committed to making sure Anthony is given a fair trial and seeking a reduction of Anthony's excessive $1 million bond. The fatal stabbing at Frisco track meet. The incident happened around 10 a.m. Wednesday, April 2nd, when the track meet met at Kendall Stadium. The Frisco Police Department said an altercation between the two students, identified as Metcalf and Anthony, resulted in Anthony stabbing Metcalf in the chest. Police said by the time officers arrived to the scene, Metcalf was unconscious and not breathing. Multiple Frisco ISD student athlete trainers performed CPR according to the arrest affidavit. Metcalf was transported to the hospital and was pronounced dead shortly after he arrived in the affidavit. Anthony complied with officers and was taken into police custody, Frisco PD said. Well, witnesses told police about Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony. According to witnesses, Metcalf and Anthony didn't know each other. One witness said that they were with Metcalf under their school's tent during the track meet when someone they didn't know, identified as Anthony, came over to them. The witness said Metcalf told Anthony to leave. Anthony allegedly grabbed his bag, opened it, reached inside, and said, "Touch me and see what happens." So he was going over there looking for trouble.
Yeah.
You don't just go to opposing tent and say, "Touch me and see what happens." You dare? That's premeditated.
Because now, because it wasn't a dress album in the wrong lot. You over here dolo.
Right.
So you went over here.
And then hold on. A witness said Metcalf touched Anthony, and another witness said Metcalf grabbed Anthony. Police said that's when Anthony pulled out his knife and stabbed Metcalf once in the chest and ran away. Hunter Metcalf, the victim's twin brother, was reportedly trying to save Metcalf's life before emergency responders arrived. He told me, I looked at him. His eyes was gone. He wasn't breathing. Jeff Metcalf, the twins' father, told CBS News Texas about what Hunter Metcalf recalled.
Now, that's a part I think need to be analyzed. Okay, he in the wrong. Why you playing big dog police officer and putting your hands on folks?
See, now that's the question we got to talk about. Because why you didn't go and talk to officials that was there? Why you didn't tell your teacher? Why you didn't tell the track coach? Why did you go over there and say something to this person that you don't know? And I'm gonna tell y'all this: if y'all don't know this, if you ever see a nigga just over there dolo, don't know nobody, that person probably looking for trouble.
Yeah.
As a black person that's been around niggas my whole life, if I see a nigga just out of place, he look out of sorts, this might not be a nigga I need to say nothing to.
Yeah, I think that's definitely like that's the part that's missing, and it's gonna be some. Like I said, this story is gonna be developing more and more. I think people are gonna speak out because you're saying they touched him. I smell if they read the way you read, if they read it like wrote it like that, they fluffing that.
What you mean?
When you say they touched him, now you was aggressive.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't no hey. It wasn't no tap you on the shoulder. Hey, bro, you know you're in the wrong area. You need to be over in this area.
Yeah.
Now you tried to be big badass.
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak down on him because he's deceased, but I think that was the scenario, trying to be big and bold and think I can control, because it seemed like he was the captain of the football team.
Yeah, he was captain of the football team.
So again, he got to show that leadership and bravado that hey.
But that's kind of what they say. Let me read this comment.
Right.
It said, I remember them white boys jocks that be on wrestling teams and all they think they can wrestle everybody. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. And they think they can, it's their way.
Yeah, it's like I said, they carry themselves a little bit different. They feel like they can say what they want to say to people, which is weird. So let me ask you this question. You in the house with your family. You done told everybody you forgave them on national TV. They interview your wife and your other son. And they say, hey, man, he say he forgiven, but we mad and we angry. Do you think that caused some type of dissension in the house?
Let me make sure I say it one more time.
So my father comes out and say he forgives this guy that killed my twin brother. and the mother and father goes on the interview. Mother and the other
Oh,
twin
on the
brother
yeah.
goes on the interview and said that he could forgive them, but we ain't there. We still angry, upset. We really ain't comprehending what really happened.
Now,
So would that cause some dissension in the house?
possibly, but like I said, he's a cancer survivor. I
Mhm.
think he has a little bit more grace because he got
Yeah,
grace.
maybe so.
Also, let me play devil's advocate. It could be, well, let me play clean and good for this camera,
Mhm.
because this is I can parlay this all different type of ways. You
Mhm.
see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So again, taking it at face value, they may have some type of issue with it, but I can also say, like I said, he's a cancer survivor.
Mhm.
He got a second chance at life, got some grace. He may be on that, that other end where I don't want nothing to stress me out, because you could die from that.
Yeah.
That heartbreak, that tension, that stress, that all of a sudden he may be playing it safe like that too. So it's hard to say, but the brothers and the mothers probably feel away because this was a black boy. It wasn't you see what I'm saying?
You think they feel away because of black boy? You don't think they'd be hurt if a white boy still stabbed them?
They'll be hurt, but they're not like a black boy. Because
Why that?
I think, and it's gonna be controversial, but I'm gonna say it, there is a superiority complex amongst whites and blacks
Mm-hmm.
and other people, other races. I think the black people are looked to be the scowls
Mm-hmm.
and of the land. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people tired of us, because this gives the black community another black eye.
Mm.
We got what we're gonna talk about Wednesday. We got the chicks running around Disney World with bubble skirts. We got fight videos. I posted one on my page today, and you see all these people just looking at this chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, everywhere we go, you see chaos.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying? You either see some chaos, what we talked about last week with the church. You either see, and I want to get on my soapbox for a minute. With black people, you either see chaos, somebody trying to get over. You will see some instances where we having fun, but so quickly that fun can turn into tragedy.
Yep.
We having fun. We at the concert, we vibe, because our type of fun involves smoking, dancing, alcohol, and that can go left very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't know. I think, like I said, it's a superiority complex to say you don't stab a white boy or a white man as a black man, even if you are defending yourself, because you hear them talk them up. But a lot of the times you see, well, innocent black boys like a Trayvon Martin. Oh, he was this. He was smoking weed. He was this. He had the hoodie on, and he was a victim. You see what I'm saying? They already try to paint where they say he went to jail, posted mug shot.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They make him demonize it so it don't seem as if it's not as bad as it looked, because he was already a no good type of dude.
So should your history come into play when we have issues like this?
To a degree, yeah, because it's a pathway to how you got here. So I need, like I said, if you got caught with a knife in school, it shouldn't have been no suspended. You should have got expelled.
I agree.
So it should have been nipped in the bud from there.
If you was expelled, you're not supposed to become to any sports events, none of that.
Yeah.
And if we seen you there, hey, what you doing here? This for the school. You expended. You're not supposed to be on school grounds or school activities. So I agree with that, and I think a lot of people. I think that's why so many people are now pulling their kids out of school and are trying to move to certain neighborhoods to feel like they can avoid something like this, or they just sending their kids to private school.
Yeah, and again, that's why I not to go back to the complex, to where again the victim think he can come over here and tell this boy whatever, as if he's a official or an adult.
So you think it was because he was black? Because just like Jesse said, like the white boys that feel like they that nigga and they the wrestler, they the state champion, they move a certain type of way. Now it don't matter, because I've seen them at school where it don't matter who it is. They just feel like, hey, I could beat your ass, or I could wrestle you, I could choke you. Like they just feel like they got that bravado about themselves, so where they feel like they can say something.
Yeah, that's why I say he got the leadership. So he, like I say, he probably got the bravado. Hey, I'm the big dog. Hey, you on the wrong, because he was at his school. So I'm the big man on campus. I got my team behind me. I got a little bit more confidence to show out now. But again, you putting your hands on this boy.
Yeah.
What you think? What made you think you can do that?
Right.
It's a cause and effect, and it's just a slippery slope.
This is the thing. White boy, this is the real stuff. White boys, they fight a lot.
Yeah.
I went to a school white boys fight a lot. They meet up at the school and fight. They really didn't fight a lot at school, but they would meet at the flagpole or where the trail runs. They will meet up. They will fight a lot. White people believe in fight. The thing is, they believe in fighting, but they don't believe in really so much killing them.
Yeah, they won't shoot each other. They'll fight it out. We could shoot the fade, but we gonna take it to extreme. I gotta out because I don't want the embarrassment of taking the L. I'm on World Star. You know, we going
because
viral.
You got to ask yourself too. If they told me to leave, why wouldn't you leave as a black man?
Because I'm looking for trouble.
You're looking for trouble because I don't want to be nowhere. I don't care if it was white or black.
Yeah.
And so I go to somebody opposing team 10. They told me, "Hey, you need to leave." I'm just gonna leave because I know this ain't my 10 anyway.
It's. I think it, and I just think it's some more pieces to it that ain't been spoken on or have not been revealed that we'll find out later on as this develops.
Let me play this last clip.
Stabbed. I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw. And I try to help him.
Just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
17-year-old Carmelo Anthony is now charged with first-degree murder. He does not have a bond.
And with that being said, y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share the video. Make sure you just subscribe to all social media platforms, Rumble, TikTok, Facebook, X, and Instagram, and YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, the Cash App is scrolling at the bottom of your screen. But most importantly, make sure y'all subscribe and share the video. And like I said, after watching that video and seeing the mother and the son so much more distraught than the father, and I guess I'm pretty sure the father broke down, crying and stuff like that. But just to see them openly express and can't say what they want to say, and like I said, the father want to come out and say we don't want to make it a race issue, but you know it's going to end up being that.
It's always going to be a race, and that's what a lot of the media and just society tries to hide and cover with saying that we have a race problem in this country.
We do,
and
America's unique in that.
Not even this country, the world.
But hold on, true. But for most countries, most people look like the same people. Like America, the melting pot idea is a stupid concept anyway. Even when I see niggas online talking about deportation and letting people in and talking about who owned the land, like that's cool and all, but you got to understand the more people you have in this. See, the country ain't made up of just land mass. The country is literally made up of people. That would make the culture. And so that when you try to find your tribe and who you're supposed to be around, typically that's like-minded, but just more important, it's going to be people that look like you. So us intermingling and the integration, that was the stupidest thing that ever could have been did. And I seen Nick Fuentes on X talking about a post going viral, talking about he would be doing his family a disservice to be staying anywhere close to black people. How you feel about that? Now don't take it. Don't take it because you know who he is and his background. Take about what he said. How do you feel about that?
That he don't want to be around black folks.
That he said he'd be doing his family a disservice if he stayed around black people because their safety would be in jeopardy.
I can see why he would say that, but see, I look at racism a little differently. I believe racism is natural. It's no different than the animal kingdom where you have natural born enemies, hyenas and lions, to be specific. There's never going to be any reality where a hyena going to be eaten with a lion. It's not going to happen. They're going to be at odds. People, but they know they play, so they run into each other, but they also avoid each other. They got their own little packs, their own prides and clans. So with us being a little bit more intelligent, it's the mindset. That's why you look at, areas like Calabasas or these high-end Mountain Brooks, the black population is like it's all usually 1%, if that. So it's the like-mindedness. The skin tone after a certain while don't matter. It's the values, the culture, where you really come from. Because you got some people who was bred in an affluent black people who was just bred around white. Candace Owens, who she came from. I think she came from a black community, but her schooling is a little bit different. You see what I'm saying? So, and then she got the husband, but you got some people who I can't think of nobody. Let's say Bronny James and LeBron James kids. They can't identify with the hood
Right.
Anything, no matter how much LeBron take them to the hood, they can't identify with that. So you look at who Bronny James went to the prom with. He didn't go with a black woman or a black girl. He's around a certain type of people, so you pick and you adapt to where you at.
I agree.
So yeah,
and even with that being said, like you got to think about the first part of culture is cult.
Yeah.
And so we kind of have to have like a cult like mindset to be around people and going in the same direction as you. Because like I said, it'd be crazy for me to be out here thinking that I'm finna hang out with a nigga that's selling dope and running around here fucking bitches, but I'm trying to be married too and be a family man and teach my children to be be a good example and be productive to society. That'd be crazy for me to do that. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, you kind of have to have a mindset that the people that you're around kind of, like I said, your tribe or your cult, and that's kind of how it has to be. And I think who shows that a lot, even in our community, black women, for the most part, they think, act, parrot each other, sound the same, do the same. They their own little cult by themselves.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
And to really answer your question, I think because I've seen Nick Fuentes doing streams with Myra and Games of Fresh and Fit and being around black people, but not, and I don't want to use the N word, but a certain type of demographic of people. So when he said, I think it's a certain, because I would even,
but that's basically what he said. He was like, okay, so basically how we talk about, you got black people, then you got niggas.
Yeah.
And he was like, not all. He said he said not all black. He said I do think there are good black people. He said I met them basically.
Yeah.
But it's just he's like, I'm not gonna run the risk of trying to figure out if you're good or bad.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take the time to figure out somebody good or bad either. Then even black people, we get to a point where we get money and we get, come up in life. We're not gonna stay around too many niggas too much longer either.
Because you're gonna be a victim.
Yeah.
Possibly. Or somebody else gonna be a victim by trying to take what you got.
Right.
So it's a crazy, it's a rock and a hard place that black people find themselves, especially when they get money and get this status. They got to get away from their own people for their own safety, and really for y'all, I got to get for y'all safety. Because now, not only I got the money to buy the shit that you can't do nothing with. Yeah. You may be coming over here with your little 9 or whatever. I got some for that.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So, it's certain stigmas and that's why we, talking about the stuff we talk about, these stigmas, and when we see people double down on, like when we see dudes with the switches and these young boys, the uptick in violence in the youth from, let's say, 14 to 21 is off the chain. And where are they getting it from, and why are they? How you got like that? That'd be my number one question. How you get like that?
Environment.
Where you get that from?
And about to raise them. They getting raised by, like, I hear a lot of people still praising, like Boosie the other night talking about, my DJ don't know that I raised Birmingham. For us, in a sense, that's true.
Yeah. A lot of people.
I heard 2 Chainz said in the line, my father figure was too short.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of guys that don't have fathers that got to look to music, athletes, and this is why they prop up these celebrities so much. Like Doja, like she came out of nowhere and she looked the weirdest and saying the weirdest stuff and talking about a red flag for her is heterosexual men, like straight men. Insane. You don't want to date what? So and so just to put those type of people out there, and that especially black people are so easily influenced by entertainment and music and want to shake their hips, like it is crazy to see that we don't in our community prop up the smart individuals, the Ben Carsons, your Thomas Souls, or people that just got great minds. It's always got to be, hey, you got to look like this. Like I said, it got to be in a cult mindset.
And you also got to look at who own the hip hop culture and the rap labels. And when you go back, you always follow the money. Go to the ownership. Who own the prisons, the private prison system? Who own the record labels? All of these the same people. So I like, why you so invested in rap music as a small hat? Why you so invested in rappers and shit? So that tell me you using this against her. This a weapon,
right?
Because you too invested. Like it don't make sense for you to be disinvested in rap music.
And even when it comes to that
outside
aspect,
the money,
why do y'all always push the same? Like if you think about the female rappers, all of them saying about they pussy, about just like being all the side niggas who in your cat, you know how wet you get.
Yeah.
Like it ain't no diversity. It ain't nothing new. It ain't nothing artistic about it at all. Like it to the point now they even sampling the songs we grew up to.
A lot. You
A
listen to
lot.
all the new music is samples because they can't create nothing new. They got that thing to it.
Right. And so that's why you have a lot of people that the longevity, when you talk about like a Michael Jackson's catalog or things like that, those people music are timeless because they are original.
Mm-hmm.
A Glorilla shit gonna get washed out. Moneybag Yo gonna get washed out because y'all are doing a lot of sampling, and a lot of people gonna get to the point where they want to. Well, I want to hear the original. Oh, that's a sample. You're gonna be at a barbecue. Oh yeah, that was a sample. Such and such made that. Then you're gonna find out they sample something. Then they sample something until you find the original. And be like, okay, the original sounds better because a lot of these people just copying. They ain't got no talent or nothing. I think that's another issue that we have in our community, that so many people are just carbon copies of one another.
Yeah, it's intent. It's by design for the most part to keep us in a certain state. Like you had a bunch of people that came out and said, you know, how rap was infiltrated and weaponized against us. They tried to meet, and people, Master P and all of them was trying to get their own distribution, and they said nah. And then a lot of them people that's supposed to meet end up catching charges.
Right.
Jay Prince, P Diddy, Dr. Dre, all them folks that was trying to do that Master P, and you see they skated and then they went up because they got down with the get down.
Yeah.
A lot of these people get in bed with these people, and you don't got no control after that. I gotta make this. I gotta buy my masters. Just think about that process. I gotta buy my masters from you on my masters. He got to sign off for me to use my art.
But okay,
don't
make sense. But if you let somebody build something that you don't fully understand, and you think they dangle a carrot in front of your face, but you don't know what they hold in their hand that's behind their back.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it is. A lot of niggas didn't understand. Like even when they be talking about like the points on the song, like even the veterans, if you listen to them, they be talking about, yeah, you know, your masters and your publishing, you got this many points on the song. If you listen to them, they don't even seem like they fully grasp what they trying to explain to the public.
Yeah.
If you just listen to them. And now in 2025, it is crazy for you to be talking about you got to buy some masters, or you selling this part of your catalog. I get that. I understand the selling the catalog, but to try to buy your catalog back, or what movies you can put it in, or how much money you can make back off of it, when you got so many outlets that you can actually put your own music out and own it. That's the part that I don't get. To like, if you're still doing that today, you lost.
Yeah, I think, like I said, it's a bunch of stuff. That'll be a good stream for us to really break down the music industry one of these days and get into it. Because what I look at a lot of these rappers that go to jail. They go to jail for a little bit. They get out though.
Yeah.
And then they may go back, but then they always get out, like your NBA young boy. You look at all these charges, you would say, well, looking at these charges,
you supposed to be in
you supposed to really be in here for about 25 years.
Yeah.
You look at your TI, 2-time felon. You got caught with this. You got this going on. So that tell me, man, something ain't right. They can't have you in because you too much of an investment. Now we need him out here on the streets making music to spread the message of the mass.
I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, you good.
You ain't seen BMF. I mean, Raising Canada.
I ain't watched none of it.
I
yet.
ain't gonna tell you, but that's a scenario that happens in there.
Yeah.
The dude, I'm gonna just tell you a little piece real quick. The dude comes to Lou. He said, Lou, I like what you did with Famous.
Yeah.
Can you do it here? He said, yeah, I heard all of the artists that you got, but you only got one artist that's really spitting. This the part that Party plays.
Yeah.
So Party plays the artist he locked up. And he said, well, Lou, I'll do what you need me to do, but you got to get me out. He said, well, if you agree to do what I need you to do to make the music, I can get you out here by the end of the day.
Yeah.
He said, you can get me out here by the I'll get you out here by the end of the day.
Yeah.
When it showed, he got him out the end of the day. They go back and talk to the what you call it, and then they get into this whole thing. And I think this is what I don't know if 50 Cent in bed. He gotta be.
Absolutely.
Because even the clip, the Jew is explaining. He's like, well, we get such a bad rap, and y'all think we came over here with all this money. We didn't. My father did. Then he worked up and all this, so we had to work and we fighting. We was ostracized and all this. So he was basically trying to say like he didn't. they didn't really have a good relationship. The artist he got out because the artist kept saying something about him being, Jew and stuff. And so with him saying that, he was just like, he's trying to like give a history. We didn't got it from the mud. Y'all be just thinking we own all. Like when you see that clip, you'll be like,
I'm gonna get into it. I say I want to binge watch it all the way out. Like,
yeah, when you see that clip or that clip, you can be like, okay, so 50. Somebody then came and say, hey, we need you to put this in there because we getting a lot of backlash because they on the fire right now.
Everyone, and that's what it's called, Zionism. We need to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah. We might get that Zionism is trending very hard. A lot of people are waking up.
Yeah.
I see a bunch of videos across the country lines in Ireland and they calling it out, and they trying to play damage control. It's a full-on war going on. We just don't see it.
Yeah, it's
spiritual.
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But we're gonna move to the next thing. The next thing we're gonna talk about is a woman getting punched. It's not funny, but it's funny. Getting punched during a street interview. If you're watching the video, y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share the video. Make sure you subscribe to all of the social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, or formerly known as Twitter. It's called X, Rumble, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And if y'all want to support the channel, the Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. Let's play this video right here.
Channel? Yeah, we're doing some interviews today. Such a good vibe. Should we kill the kids in foster care?
Why not? Why not? If that's the case,
We should kill the kids in foster care that aren't wanted.
who's gonna take care of them? I need to know the percentage of people who take children from foster care and abuse them and molest them, who make them like personal slaves.
We should just kill them.
Statistics before you come to me talking about pro-life.
We should kill the victims of molestation.
I think, what does this have to do with molestation?
You just mentioned people molesting children. We should kill the kids in foster care is what you said.
What I'm saying is in general, overall. If I don't want to have a baby, I should have the choice to.
Just don't have sex then.
Even as teens, people explore. And it's like, as funny as you want to be, people should still have the choice. I think that you just don't understand the magnitude of having a child.
I'm not the one who admitted they would be okay with killing babies in foster care and killing children that have been abused.
That's not the point. What I'm saying.
That's really.
She two-pieced her ass real quick.
Triggered.
You know what? Street interviews, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
And I think when we talk about this issue, and it's a glaring issue, so many people, and what the content today they was talking about was abortion. We got to be real, and we got to talk about it in a real manner. Nobody still wants to talk about abortion in a real manner.
That's true.
Being a mother starts when you conceive a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have a lot of people talking about, it's not a kid, and they use semantics and reword and say it's a fetus and embryo, they doing that so they won't have any emotional attachment, because baby gives you an emotional attachment. It makes you feel a ways when you say a baby. Now you personalize it, or my baby, but you call it a fetus or embryo because you don't want to have any emotional connection to it with the heinous shit you're doing.
Psyching yourself out.
Basically.
Trying to play word games. Exactly. Like,
Basically.
Come on, like, this is not, it's an embryo. Like, nah, you know what you did to get that in you. And
Right.
you know, if you didn't do that, you will have a full-on baby. So the semantics doesn't work in that play or in that manner. And also for this woman to just haul off, it shows you didn't did this before.
Right.
Because you stopped to have a conversation. 1, 2, you was so triggered that you hauled off and assaulted this woman.
Right.
Just off the conversation.
Right.
So you showing you guilty and you exposing the lie. It ain't just an embryo or something that you just, it's not that.
Right. I agree. I agree. And like I said, I personally know someone now that has recently had an abortion, and she's having a hard time with it.
I can see that.
And the thing is, I don't know why. And we always ask this question: why do women have to learn the hard way?
That is the me, and like, even because there's so many steps you have to take to get before you have an abortion, right?
Right.
First is, who is this guy you fucking raw? You see what I'm saying? And then say, well, you don't know if it was the R word or it was this. They already, the numbers are out. I think it then went down because they fluffed the number. They tried to make it 3%. it's less than 2% of abortions that come from a medical issue or a grape case.
Right.
You're talking less than 2%. The other 98% is sexual irresponsibility.
So and that's why I say, if you are a person, if you are a woman, I'm gonna say this clearly. If you are a woman and you use rape and you use incest or if you use medical conditions to hold up the argument of why abortion is needed, you are a fucked up individual. To play on the backs of people who are actual victims because you are mishandling your vagina, your cootie pop out here, that is fucked up. For you to be out here and try to act like you are a victim of such heinous things that happen to you, well, why you make the case for that, you're fucked up. Like anytime that anybody is using a messed up situation to try to prop up or try to have something to allow something to go on, and you using out the backs of the hurt of other individuals, that's messed up. And that's kind of go along with the people when we talk about civil rights movement. Why do the people in the civil rights movement allow LGBTQ, Jewish people to jump on these moves? Why do the feminist movement or black people went through so much, but so many people are able to jump on this bandwagon and use the civil rights movement to push their agenda? So why would I, as a person that has went through this, and people that have went through that incest or that the rape or medical condition, should speak up and say, hey, we don't want to be who y'all use to pedestalize abortion.
Yeah.
Because I went through this and it was traumatic. And for y'all to say it and y'all just really out here doing X, Y, and Z with y'all vagina because you go and fuck the wrong nigga. And let's be truthful, the reason you're having abortion because you fucked the nigga who kid you cannot have.
Well, and it's also like say it's a double-edged sword because a lot of the times the men are funding it. And I have my own personal beliefs about it, but I don't think people understand from the woman. The man, like I said, he may, pay for it or whatever. The man is really not affected the way the woman is. So for the woman to be so willy-nilly, and they did a study, they had some numbers that came out. I think it was over 1 million abortions. This was a study in 2023. I think it was over 1 million abortions. 38%, I want to say, was white, and 33% of the abortions were black, and then they trickled down the other. But they did the population; it was like 98 million white women compared to like 20 some million black women. So you got about whatever the dude, he broke it down. He said it was like a $72 million difference. I'm sorry, a 72 million people difference. But the percentage is only a 5% difference, 33 to 38%. So you see what I'm saying? Look at
So that means we doing it way more.
So if we was 98 million, think about how many abortions that is. So I think, like I said, it's just I don't think women really understand because to have a life in you and is taken from that child inside of you, you'll be kind of crazy to think this don't have any negative impact on your soul, mind, and body.
Right.
You just gonna heal up, get you 2 weeks, no sex, drink you some orange juice, apple juice, and go, and you'll be good. You'll be a damn fool to think that's how that works.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Look, I agree. And like I said, like I said, a lot of people, got that cemetery pussy. Y'all killing babies in your womb and stuff like that. That's what it is. They could have shot 13 ghosts in that vagina. So, like I said, it's so, and then people do it so frequent. And the thing is, the reason so many people can do it multiple times because you didn't cross the threshold. The threshold and that your moral compass has been crossed. So you done it once, you can do it again.
Yeah.
And so that's why even when we talk about like just purity and how women move and just people in general, how people move with certain things, if they ain't done it before, it'd be hard for them to cross that moral compass or that moral threshold. But after you do something, it's like, well, I done it again. I don't see no ramifications. And then you got to think about this. That's technically murder, right? And we allow a murder and we had to reword it and call it abortion because you're actually terminating a life.
Yeah, and it was a clip. I don't think we got a chance to get into it on the pod, but it was a doctor who do the abortions, and he said how many he's done. He said, I can tell you right now the amount of abortions I've completed that were, medical or crime related. He said they don't even compare. It's like cents on a dollar.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, it's always gonna be a touchy subject because people want this autonomy over all my decisions. That's why when I adopted the what I do can impact somebody else. If I have a child in in a bad environment, that is a threat to my neighbor. That's a threat to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It can be a hazard because now they don't have the proper nutrition, they don't have the proper education or the resource to really fully develop. So if they don't fully develop, they just gonna go to their pleasure senses. I need to get this pleasure, I need to get instant gratification. Well, I don't care if I gotta take some from you, take some from her, whatever. I need my needs met now. I don't know how to get it. I haven't been developed on going through a process or a system or a chain of command. I need my needs met now. So you can you're creating a hazard, and for you seeing a lot of cases now where you got the son and the daughters, and even on the reverse where they taking their own parents out.
Yeah, and that's been my saying for the last 5 years. I said we finna start seeing an onslaught of kids just taking their parents out.
Cheers, no corn.
Just like that video we seen of that woman getting killed on live by her son because she told him he can't play the video game.
It's insane.
Shot in the head. So you got to think about it. There is no discipline because fathers are disciplined, but there's no discipline in these houses. And I get it. I understand it. You don't want to have a kid. It's the worst time. But when you start making excuses or get out of jail free cards for people to be responsible, you're finna have a piss poor society, and we see society go down very rapid.
Yeah.
Anytime you make a get out of jail free card for people to not be responsible adults, because responsibility what makes the society hold itself up. Everybody know I'm responsible for X, Y, and Z. I got to do this. This gonna fall back on this person. It's gonna fall back on me. Or if they don't do something, it's gonna fall back on me. So I got to understand the idea of we are a community. We are a society, and most people have this individualized my body, my choice. How is it, y'all women? Listen to this. Women say it takes two. Now, I don't personally think that. I think it takes one, and one is your consent. But women say it takes two. It takes two to have sex. It takes two to you got pregnant. But it only takes your decision if you want to keep it or not. You didn't sit down and say, you didn't never come to me and say, hey, it took two. What are we going to do? No, it's going to be, what am I going to do best for my life? We don't even sit there and roll dice and see if it land on 7, you keep it, you kill it. We don't even you don't even give me that. But y'all love to say it take two. No, baby. We ain't roll no dice. We ain't play rock, paper, scissors. We ain't pulled keep it or kill it out the hat. We ain't do none of that. But now when it comes to abortion, it's your body, your choice. And it's fucked up that the government allow women to decide when men can be children. If we got rid of child support and abortion, society would change overnight.
Overnight. And if you ask most women who is Margaret Sanger, they won't be able to tell you. And I put this on my I posted this on Facebook some years ago. This was a call that was recorded at an abortion, a Planned Parenthood.
I seen that.
Where the guy wanted to fund,
abortion.
I want to pay for some of. So when you have that piece of information alone, you should know this is something underlying in this issue to where a total stranger wants to spend their hard-earned money.
But did you see the ones that was calling in that was saying, hey, I want to make sure this money goes to killing the aborting a
black baby. Exactly.
So when you understand, and then, like I said, you could go on Planned Parenthood and look at the map of where your abortion clinics are at. They're in the black community or walking distance to a black community or a Hispanic community.
Black and brown community.
So when you ask that question, or you be like, why y'all got abortions? And then you got Kamala Harris running and trying to act like abortion is healthcare and black women have the least access to healthcare. Why do y'all so hyper focused on black women being able to kill their kids? But we know it's genocide. Ain't no reason for our population to not be growing.
Our population has been the same. It has been stagnant. And you get pats on the back. You get incentive for this. I want to say some jobs were offering benefits to pay for abortion.
Yeah. I want to say Tesla. So I seen something that said Tesla was doing something like that because they was trying to factor in like the pay. If you did have a baby, to pay maternity leave, we need you on this assembly line, some crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I seen something like that. That Tesla was offering, women got abortions or trying to give them like $1,000 if they wanted to like travel out of state or something.
Yeah, because some states you can't do it. They'll pay for your travel.
Right.
Yep.
So I think it was like they was paying for the travel because, like I said, if you being out, me paying maternity leave, you still getting a check, I'd rather have your ass on this assembly line. And you know how crazy it is. Like, fuck your kid, fuck your life, fuck with your mental health. Bitch, come get on this assembly line. That's crazy. And for, like I said, even just watching that video, that lady punching that woman, and then she could saying outlandish shit. You need to kill the kids that's in foster care and the kids that been molested. Like, what? These kids are here now. So, like I said, it's always a slippery slope. Because where does it stop? At first, it was 6 weeks. Then they got to 12 weeks. Then they got to 24 weeks. And now they're talking about going to term.
Yeah.
They're trying to push it to term. They're trying to post?
Nah, I think they had something like post-birth. Like after, like, I said, what? I said, nah, that got to be some BS. I'm like, y'all ain't doing that.
But yeah, they trying to, I seen all the way up to like, a couple weeks before you had a baby. They trying to push for that. And I think in some case, I think I researched, I think Switzerland was allowing it, and the reason they allowed it, they were trying to do studies on the mental health of the women. They were going back, checking on them and seeing what was going on. And like I said, the studies and the psychological reviews that they was doing, these women wasn't well. Like, you're doing something that goes naturally against your body. And this is another issue that I have with Black women when they talk about like natural shit. I don't want to be on birth control because it ain't natural. Well, bitch, an abortion ain't natural, but you agree, you believe in that. You wearing your waist beads and you're eating your herbs and firing up your sage, but then when it comes to abortion, that's something you believe in. You talk about herbal medicines and stuff that grow from the ground and all this natural stuff, but abortion ain't natural. You can do all of this stuff that you want to talk about being natural, but when it comes to that situation, you got to leave the door open to leave it cracked just in case you got to run through that motherfucker, which is crazy. And like I said, it be the Hotep Black women that be always blowing my mind because y'all wouldn't be so quote unquote woke, even though that term got hijacked from what it meant when Black people was using it. Because nowadays it means something totally different because white people hijacked it.
They definitely hijacked the term woke. Yeah, I said, which was intentional, but
yeah. And like I said, if y'all watching, y'all can start calling in. If y'all want to call in, make sure y'all call in. We talked about Carmelo Anthony situation, and we talked about the street interview where the lady got a punch talking about abortion. If you have any issues, or if you see any previous shows that we had, you want to call in about those shows, you can call in as well. We're gonna give everybody about 10 minutes, and then we're gonna wrap up.
And we can say the Phylicia Rashad for Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll say
Wednesday, make sure y'all tune in Wednesday for Outrage Wednesday. That's gonna be good. We definitely gotta unpack the bubble skirt epidemic at Epcot in Disney World.
That junk is crazy.
That's insane.
That is crazy. And we got to talk about how it's got to be some social outrage, community outrage about the pedo nature of women.
That's definitely it's a thing.
We gotta throw some teachers in there. How it is crazy the amount of teachers that's getting busted sleep with these kids.
Exactly. Full-blown relationships. Like it ain't just a random, it's full-blown relationships.
Buying your students
guns, text. They said I forgot. Was it 432 text messages? It was something. It may have been more.
Yeah. Did you see the story about the daddy going to jail because he knew his son was sleeping with a teacher and he basically gave him his
pat on the
back.
He was complicit in it.
Right. Like, bruh, that's another thing. Man, we got to stop allowing women to be predators. Because it's sick and you're a weirdo, they gonna put you under the jail if you do the same thing. It is crazy when I see stories that women, these teachers, go get pregnant by their students, go to jail 5 years, get out, and still go back and be with that same student, and then try to have a family, get pregnant by that student again.
And another thing in the Black community, I seen this. I ain't gonna say throw my dad under the bus, but men once it's like when men see other men or boys and they see they got that. Let's say quote unquote swag, it's almost like they want to latch onto them to live vicariously through them. So when I was coming up, my uncles and all this, they seen the girls liking me and all this. So now I'm being pushed, man. You better get that, man. You better go after that. So they teach us to chase these women and be open to the women. Advances, like they do it. Yeah, you better take it. She throwing it at you. You better do it. And as I mature, I look at them like, well. What has it? What benefit would I get from that outside the expense? It don't benefit me. You saying it don't benefit you for telling me that?
It don't
Like,
benefit you, and it shows because I see a lot of weird shit. Like I've been posted on TikTok, a lot of the teachers that been jammed up from that or arrested, and the amount of men that jump in the comment section and say, "Man, I wish we had fine teachers like that.
why can I get that?
Yeah, what I wish that would have happened.
Yeah.
That was a reason why we didn't have fine teachers or young teachers. That was a reason. Because typically, when I was still in school, I think when I was in school, I graduated in 2008. When I was in school, that was like, I think the progression when we started seeing younger teachers coming to the classroom. But for the most part, when I was younger, most of the teachers was like late 40s, 50s.
And the media and the movie and entertainment industry have sold these fantasies. You got what's that movie with Carmen Diaz when she was a teacher?
Oh yeah, Bad Teacher.
Bad Teacher. You got all the Miss Trinidad. You go look at Martin. I got the fine teacher. Society will sell you a dream and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
So you gotta look at the whole scenario where I'm in high school. You putting a 23-year-old teacher in front of me. Right. A 22-year-old teacher in front of me. That don't even make sense.
Right.
She only 3 years removed.
Then you think about that with this type of shit they wear to school too.
Look at the dress. Like you had the teacher that went viral.
Yeah.
A few years ago, super fine. And Teacher Bay. They called it Teacher Bay. So I'm like, y'all allow these things to fester, and now like I said, it becomes a fantasy. It's fetishized. So damn, I want me a teacher. Like it's and a lot of it's rooted in the relationship dynamic. This person has this superiority over me. I know we don't supposed to have none, which entices me even more. And I was about to post in my story as far as why are the cheating and sneaky link relationships so gratifying versus your straight up and down ones. You get this extreme adrenaline rush because you don't supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
So you look at the type of men that women say they hate, or when you hear them describe the man, but you look at the history, you ain't dated none of these guys you just described to a T. So I can't believe that you want this now when your history shows you ain't never dealt or wanted that type of guy. Or if you did have that guy, you kicked him to the curb because he wasn't in you right, or he was too nice, or he ain't play the mind games that you like. He didn't know how to talk. He ain't had a swag. You'll kick him to the curb to get with the. I seen women literally divorce to become a baby mama. I can't wrap my head around
I
that.
seen that too.
I can't wrap my head around.
We know when we talk about them. Like that's crazy.
I can't wrap my head around. You got a home, a good dude, everything smooth. Because if we've been together, if we got married to the point we got married, we should be able to work out any differences. Ain't no irreconcilable differences when you look at weddings and all that. We done went through all the adversity because challenges come up. If you planning a big wedding and all of that, you doing all the engagement party, you going through all this rigmarole. We can get through some differences. If we done got through all that planning, galvanizing all these relatives, people that don't like each other in one room, paying for this, doing this, send money here, do this, working as a team to get this look done, ain't no such thing as no motherfucking irreconcilable differences. That's bullshit.
I agree. And it needs to start letting people be able to voice it just right there.
Yeah, it got to go up a panel. Like, oh, he beating your ass and you got evidence, you can call the police 19 times on him. He really, okay, that makes sense.
They got to make it difficult for people to just get divorced.
Yeah, you can't just say irreconcilable differences. Well, he won, and then next thing you know, you dating. How you got so much trauma from this, but you dating right here? Right.
How? That's the crazy part. But that's what they really want. That's why they got to try to act like it was something so tumultuous to leave, but then 2 months later you pop out with a new nigga. Baby, you ain't had no therapy. That ain't no time to heal. You been in a relationship 20 years and now you back out here dating. You been in a relationship 11 years, now you back out here dating 2 months.
For the fellas that's watching, I always try to drop a gem or some game. If you officially break up with your chick, let's say May 21st, y'all broke up in January. I'm gonna say that again. If you like, man, we just broke. If y'all break up for real and it's done on May 21st, and normally it's the woman that leave, she broke up with you in January or February, dog. Y'all didn't break up on May 21st because if it's a fruitful endeavor on any board, on any accord, we know people gonna fight tooth and nail to keep that relationship intact. job. People, you see women complain about a job. You see men complain about a job. 20, 40, been on job 20, 30 years. Ain't left yet, man. I hate my woo, woo, woo. But you get that check, so they keep you coming back.
Yeah.
So if you could just drop this and all this, you broke up with him 4 months ago. You just had to get your new plate ready. You had to get your new situation together, and you had to have the confidence, because this one thing a lot of men don't know, but a lot of women find out the hard way. And a lot of times it's sexually motivated. A lot of times when the marriages and long relationships end, is because a child has not been conceived, and 2, you couldn't properly bond with that woman due to multiple bodies, or you just didn't have the equipment she used to. You couldn't hit the back of that oven. So you look at those scenarios and you say, well, damn, how did we get all the way here? But we ain't gonna do nothing to go. You saying let's take the extra mile, but you'll leave me and go and just fuck off with a dude that ain't even committed to you.
Crazy.
At least I'm committed to you. We got bills and that. We got houses. We got kids. We got this. You'll leave me to go be single and give him probably better treatment than you gave me as the committee.
Yeah, the commitment to them don't mean nothing. That's sad. Commitment to men means a lot, but the commitment to them means nothing. I think we finna go and wrap up.
We ain't got no call-ins.
No, we ain't got no call-ins tonight. Like I said, we're gonna be back Wednesday. I think we're gonna change our time too.
Yeah, midday. I think if y'all midday
to noon.
Yeah, we do noon. I think we're gonna do like a midday if y'all, because I know a lot of people be at work and be listening.
Right.
I watch a lot of streams around noon and they be pumping.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we're gonna switch to do nothing that'll be better for the screaming, the call-ins, and stuff like that.
For Mondays and Wednesdays.
Mondays and Wednesdays. We're gonna try to do them at noon.
If you want to be a part of any of our panels, if you want to come and discuss a specific topic, we are getting DMs. And shout out to those who reached out to us via the DM on our pages to come on as a guest. If you want to do one-on-one, you want to do something exclusive, we will open our doors to you to come and discuss whatever you would like to, and shine a light on whatever you got going. But yeah, just send us a DM on any of the pages, Facebook, Instagram, and we can set it up.
It's the New Normal Podcast, and we gone.